Welcome to the Jeremy and Andy Talk Movies podcast. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Andy, aka Rocket Man.
aka Rocket Man, because of your extensive knowledge of pyrotechnics, right?
Correct.
Yes. Andy, I'm sure you did a lot of bad things back in your day, and now you've got to protect your children from it.
Exactly what's happening. I can't believe PTA just stole my life story like that.
Exactly. So this week we are going to be talking about the new PTA movie, One Battle After Another. I go back and forth on whether I call this the new PTA movie or whether I call this the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Right.
It depends on who I'm talking to. You know, if I'm trying to explain what this movie is. Obviously, the more common movie viewer, if I say it's the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie, they're much more likely to go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of that."
Same here.
Yep. So we're gonna jump right into this one. I'm gonna give my summary, and then we'll talk about, what we think about the movie. I'm already worried about. I watched this movie. I guess a little background. I watched this movie Saturday, and that was 3 days ago now. And already I'm worried about the pronunciation of our lead female's character in this movie.
And it's a lot of movie too.
Yeah, all right. So let me see if I can get this down with the summary. So Bob and Perfidia were prominent members of the revolutionary group, the French 75. And after years of hiding out with his daughter, Bob's past catches up with him as an old foe comes looking for him and his daughter.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that could have gone really deep or gone really short
Just
with
keep
the
it
summary.
short,
Yeah. All right, Andy, here's
Yeah.
the big question. Was One Battle After Another good?
One Battle After Another is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
You
It
are
really
coming
is.
with the hot takes lately, Andy.
Look,
Okay.
why beat around the bush, man? Just dive right into it. This is one of the best movies I have ever seen.
Okay. All right. Andy, this is one of the movies I have ever seen.
That's incredible.
I think that I actually really like that I had a few days to marinate on this movie because after a few days, what I've realized is I haven't done much marinating. I don't think this movie is going to stick with me at all. I think
Really?
this is an incredibly well-made movie. I think this movie is it's actually nothing. It's cotton candy. It's fluff. There's nothing behind it. Everything again, top notch done. There's nothing to marinate on here for me, and so it's just kind of already come and gone in my conscience.
Man, this might be the most we've ever had opposite viewpoints on a movie.
As when you came out and said one of the best movies you've ever seen, I was like, "Yep, there it is. We're finally going to really disagree on a movie."
Happen. It was bound to happen.
Yes, it was. All right, so let's jump into it, man. Just tell me some of the things that you love about this movie.
So let me say this right off the get-go. I am not saying this is one of the best movies I've ever seen because it's like, oh, I understand the deep political subtext of this movie. If anybody knows me at all, I'm probably the least political human being gracing planet Earth at any given time. It's not that. It's the combination of how PTA makes this movie feel important and weighty and like it really is dealing with stuff, but it's so dang entertaining, and it's got the most incredible, just such dark sense of humor, and it draws some laughs out of just some absolutely just horrible, terrible things and behaviors and stuff. And it's just this, it's a long movie, but I thought it just had an amazing forward momentum. I thought it was just always moving. And I think this movie does a lot of important things. And if you want me to go ahead and list them, I can, but I don't want to just hog up the beginning of this podcast.
No, I want you to go, man. I want to be positive to start here.
I think part of my enthusiasm for this movie is because it's doing a lot of things. I think this is Leo just planting his flag and just making a real strong case for the GOAT, for the greatest of all time. And not necessarily just for this performance, but just this performance as a culmination of this career. And especially if you go from like Titanic, where he becomes like the ultimate heartthrob, to how good and how willing he is to just play a burnout loser in this movie. It's just an unbelievable journey. I think it's establishing PTA, which, to a lot of people, I think he was already there, but it's establishing him as one of the most important filmmakers of our time. And this is coming from someone, I don't love all of PTA's movies like a lot of people do. I think, what's the one with Daniel Day-Lewis where he's like a tailor?
Oh, Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread. I think that is just such a boring movie. I'm not just a PTA fanboy, but I don't think you can deny anymore after he's made something like this that he's so important. It's painting a clear picture, I think, to where we're going to the Oscars, because this is going to get a ton of nominations.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's establishing, and I know we'll get to this, but it's establishing the actress Chase Infinity as someone to probably look out for. And it gives us one of the absolute greatest performances in movie history from Sean Penn. A supporting actor performance that I think deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight or Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men. I think this is an all-time performance from Sean Penn. You mark my words, he is winning the Best Supporting Actor Oscar.
Okay, here's the crazy thing, Andy. I'm not going to disagree with almost anything that you said.
Yeah.
I wrote, my first note is that the acting is top notch in this, and Leo is so good in this movie. He is so funny in this movie, and I was thinking about it. It's like I've not made a Leo Mount Rushmore, but I was like, I think this movie would be on it because I enjoyed him in it so much, and I'm really loving late career Leo.
My gosh.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was so good, but it's almost like PTA saw Leo do the improv scene where he goes in his trailer and he's pitching that like hissy fit over himself, and he goes, yes, I want you to do that
for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it was really funny stuff. I agree with you about Sean Penn being really good in this movie. Where I'd say that it's going to fall short of being a legendary performance is that I think he's doing incredible stuff. I think the character is just not that interesting to me.
Really?
Whereas like Heath Ledger's Joker is so fascinating. I could watch every scene he does.
Yeah.
Everything he says is interesting. Javier Bardem is so creepy and like has such a presence. And this guy's like, well, he's really just kind of a creepy weirdo, and nothing he says is ever going to stick with me other than like all that sticks with me really is his walk. And that's all.
Oh my gosh.
Penn. So I get it. Like, if Penn wins Best Supporting Actor, I'm not going to be upset because I think he's doing a whole lot with not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to PTA, I think this is my big disconnect. I just don't think there could be a filmmaker that is just more different from me personality-wise than PTA. And that's a lot of things. I did think after seeing this movie, I was like, I know Andy's going to like this movie more than I do, but it's also just a difference in someone who is people who like the way that movies make them feel versus people who like movies and they need to think and have them make sense, you know? And I even saw Leo talking about this. He was asked about comparing Scorsese and PTA, and he did a little bit of comparing, but he's like, the biggest similarity between them is that they're really great at working with actors, and neither one of them is too worried about plot. They really will just go with what the actor feels, and sometimes that will change the whole story. And I'm like, that shows through and through.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly has a plot outlined, but it feels like every scene he's just kind of like, let's see what happens here. And it doesn't end up being, to me, a coherent narrative all the way through. It's very propulsive. You're right. Like, things just start happening in the movie, and it just keeps moving. But I was sitting there going like, but what is he really like developing here? It's like, what is happening in this movie? And the answer to me was like, not a lot. And it really showed right at the beginning the whole like disconnect between what I find interesting and what PTA finds interesting. The first scene with Sean Penn and the awkward thing that the exchange, and like, I know it's dark humor or whatever, but I was just like, this is just weird. And PTA, I know, thinks this is really funny, and I just don't think this is really funny. And this is kind of the disconnect between me and PTA right here.
You know what the funniest thing about everything you're saying is this is exactly what I would say about another PTA movie like The Master or even like Inherent Vice and stuff. I would be saying the same things. I don't know if this movie just caught me at in the right mood or I don't know, but it's
definitely better than those movies. I will give you that.
Yeah. But I again, I don't even think we're really having a disagreement as much as, like you said, it's more just about our personalities and what we take from movies.
Yeah. Because again, I will not tell you that I was like disappointed throughout this movie or bored during this movie. I will say this movie's too long. I think I was kind of laughing to myself about 2/3 of the way through the movie, remembering our conversation about Magnolia and his PTA's own view of Magnolia years later, where he had that great bit in the trivia about how he rewatched it and he was like, I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but he basically said it was like painfully long. It was unmercifully long or something like that. And I was like, PTA, you have not learned your lesson because you could have easily cut. This is a 3-hour movie that could have been 2, and you would have lost almost nothing critical to like the story. You just love to drag things out so long, and I think every scene. Here's the thing, though. I don't know where you would cut because no scene is more important than the other, and that's probably what makes editing his movies so hard. Is it's not like, well, we got to streamline the story. What story? You're just you're doing things, you know. So, but here's really like kind of the biggest issue with the movie for me is that as much as I think this is an amazing Leo performance, and right now he might be my lead for best actor for the year. Like I said, he's so good in it. He's so funny. His character is not the key character of the movie. In fact, his character is really incidental to the whole movie. If you took his character out of the movie, everything that propels the plot
Would still happen.
would continue just as yeah. And so I'm like, it's kind of an interesting thing, and like you said, a great thing for Leo to be willing to do a part that he could look at the script and go, you know, my character actually really doesn't do a lot. He just sort of, we follow him along, bumbling along as the main things are happening. But yeah, in the end, I was like, we followed him for a whole lot just for not really much of anything to happen with his character.
It's really a Sean Penn and Chase Infinity movie.
It is. Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing. It's everything that happens in the movie is because Sean Penn's character, what his character does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And really, there's not a lot of character development for any of them because it is sort of a propulsive movie. It's such a weird thing to say, propulsive movie, but it's 3 hours long, and somehow we don't really develop any of the characters. They're all pretty one-dimensional throughout the whole thing.
I again, we're just gonna sound like we're afraid to hurt each other's feelings. I don't disagree with that. I think I just found these characters so fascinating, and they were just so interesting, and just so interesting to watch up on the screen. I think one big difference between this and a Magnolia, which, you know, when we redid Magnolia, we both were like, not quite as good as I remembered.
Right.
And maybe another thing that just made me like this movie, I think it separates it from Magnolia, is it's just so much more action oriented. I mean, in Magnolia, he really fell in love with his characters just talking. And I'm not saying this isn't a talky movie, but this is also, maybe this is part of my enthusiasm too, is like, oh, okay, PTA, like, you can do action. Like, this isn't a spoiler, but I'll just say towards the end of the movie, there's this incredible chase, and they're in a very like hilly valley type situation, and I was just like, okay, PTA, like, this is really cool. I've never seen anything like this up on the screen before, and I think this movie too just hooked me at the beginning. Like, I really liked PTA doing almost like I mean, it'd be a long one, but it's almost in a way like a 30-minute kind of montage of the French, what are they, the French 75? Is that what they call them?
French 75,
The French 75, like they're doing different bombings and heists and different things. And that stuff was just, I was just really digging that stuff.
Yeah. It's funny. Man, we're going to differ so much today.
It's all right.
I was talking to my friends after seeing the movie, and one of them pointed this out, and I was like, that's exactly what I was going to say. The score is great in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that chase scene with the cars, I honestly, a lot of years, I would say if I was picking one thing to win an Oscar in this movie, it'd be the score. Unfortunately, this year, the best original score is going to be Sinners to Lose. Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine anything beating Sinners. But this one is really good. The filming of that scene, I actually didn't like.
Really?
The whole, like, weird perspective of up and down on the hills. I was like, I could tell he's doing something, but I don't like it. I'm not digging this. It's not like I got motion sick or anything. I was just like, I don't enjoy this perspective. PTA definitely knows how to shoot a movie that looks like it was made in the 90s. I mean, it's 2025, and he's shooting whatever he's shooting on. I was just watching,
It's like, what is it?
He's got an old quality or something to it.
They filmed this with like VistaVision or something, which there's probably a lot of people out there that know way more than I do. I can't even explain it very well, but yeah.
And yeah, PTA is that filmmaker that like filmmakers love, and they probably, you know, watch the way it's filmed and they see it and they're like, oh, it was shot on this and it gives it this vibe and all of this. He's the artist that I don't get. Except for he's the artist that's actually talented I don't get. He's not the artist necessarily like we joked about last week, you know, putting a urinal on display. He's the artist with like weird brushes and stuff that I'm looking at going like, I don't quite get it, but I see there's talent here. And then, you know, that's PTA for me.
Sure, and that's how I've been with PTA. Basically, you know, Boogie Nights, awesome. Saw it in the theater. And then, you know, Magnolia. I've never been a big Punch Drunk Love guy. We've talked before. I think There Will Be Blood is a great performance and a not great movie.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, it was just like all the, you know, I say this a lot in here, but like with this movie, all the puzzle pieces just fell into place for me. From the performances, from the story to the, like I said, the weirdness, the really weird sense of humor. Look, you give me Benicio del Toro as a sensei in a movie, that automatically is going to make me really hard to dislike it. Sensei Sergio, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So this movie, PTA does not give a crap about structure in movies, and sometimes I really respect that for him. But sometimes it drives me a little nuts. As again, me, a very analytical person that needs structure and things to make sense. Which again is why I would not go. I would never say this is a bad movie. It's not a movie for me because I like those things so much. But the movie starts. It really is a Perfidia movie. The mom character, you know, Leo, like it's following her for a while, and then it becomes kind of a Leo movie, but then it becomes the daughter movie. Like
it does shift.
It really
a lot.
shifts. It shifts around a lot, and he'll do weird things like you said, it's like a montage basically for like the first 30 minutes when it's really following Perfidia, like going through their background with, and at one point all of a sudden she's doing voiceover, and it lasts for like a minute, and then it goes away, and we never have voiceover again. It's like, boy, he really does not care. He'll just randomly do voiceover in his movie for a minute and then never again.
He sure will.
And yeah, he doesn't care about characters just disappearing and never coming back. I was shocked she never came back.
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, that's a big swing. I mean, it is a Perfidia? Is that right?
Perfidia.
Perfidia
is what it is.
It's a Perfidia movie for the first 20 to 30 minutes. And then, like, I mean, kind of spoilery, but yeah, I mean, she's gone. And, you know, in any other movie, you know, in a key part of the movie, all of a sudden she'd come back walking through the doors, you know, that someone would be getting ready to kill the daughter and she'd just show back up. Not here. She's gone.
Yeah. And it's very vague about whether she's even still alive or not.
At one point, someone throws out a line that's like, I heard she was in Cuba, I think, or someone says something like, or Haiti or something, or both, maybe.
Yeah. But I think Sean Penn's character, Lockjaw, makes a comment about killing her at one point, but you don't know if he's just talking trash to the daughter or not. Yeah. But yeah. Well, let's talk through some of the specifics about the movie, even though, again, it's kind of a hard movie to talk specifics about.
It really is.
One thing we haven't mentioned on yet, that really the inciting thing, we said that Sean Penn's character is the one who sort of instigates everything that happens in the movie. But really the thing behind him is that he's trying to join basically like a white supremacist cult.
Dude.
They're called like the Christmas something. And they're like, yeah, Hail Saint Nick and all this stuff. It's just
wild.
White supremacist. It's really weird dark comedy because they play it so straight, but it's clearly meant to be like ridiculous and a spoof of white supremacists.
I mean, and some of the things they're saying, I'll just say, some of the things they're saying about black people are just absolutely the worst possible things people could be saying. But like you said, these guys are playing it so straight, and it's, you know, it's hard to be offended when it's so clearly just, like you said, meant to be kind of a knock on these white supremacist groups. And I mean, kudos to these actors that are doing this, because I think they're really good.
Yeah, the one scene where they call the guy in to the secret meeting.
Dude, I love that scene.
They're like debriefing him about what Lockjaw's done when he's going after the daughter character, and he raided this one like plant that makes chicken or whatever. And when they say it, like they raided this such plant, and the guy goes, "Oh, I love their chicken nuggets."
Oh my gosh!
And you're just like, you start laughing. You're like, these terrible people just like talking about loving chicken nuggets, and he's like, "Well, I'm afraid there might be a chicken nugget shortage now."
Oh my gosh!
Like those things are so weird, and I'll admit, like that felt very like PTA sense of humor, where he likes to have just this. He likes odd stuff. He likes socially awkward a lot.
Oh, don't get me wrong. This dude's a huge weirdo. I mean, Boogie Nights may be the most normal movie he's made, if that tells you anything.
It does say a lot.
Yeah.
But I would say that this one definitely brought to mind Boogie Nights a lot because of Boogie Nights had the most humor of any movie that he's made. And because it did the similar thing with like Boogie Nights is about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, like it shifts, because at one point you got I think the best stretch of Boogie Nights is when they're trying to make a record.
Oh my gosh.
And they're all on cocaine. And it's like this weird cocaine music comedy for like 10 minutes in the movie.
And Mark Wahlberg has no idea how bad he is. And
yes, he's singing terrible. They're arguing with the guy. We got to get the tapes in order to get the deal, to get the money, and all of that. And then it becomes this movie that's like about this weird drug deal gone wrong where they're going to hold this guy up. With,
And the guy's just randomly
Alfred
throwing,
Molina.
yeah, he's just throwing firecrackers.
And you're watching all this going like, this is, for long stretches, it just departs from being a movie that's about what it is, you know? And anyways, so that reminds me of this movie where he's just not afraid to be like, my movie's just about something else now for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're just taking the off-ramp here and exploring a different avenue.
Yeah. So yeah, all that, like the whole movie basically happens because Sean Penn's character is wannabe white supremacist, but he actually like is very attracted to black women, and he has this kind of forced affair. It really toes the line of like, you know, was it just straight up rape, or was it, you know, like a mutually beneficial thing because he catches the girl and then
Sean Penn has an amazing description for it at the end of the movie.
He does.
Yeah, I won't say it on here, but it's incredible.
Right. But anyway, so then you kind of like, I don't know at what point you suspected. We should put a spoiler warning. I know we've already kind of gotten into spoiler stuff. We've been talking about this, but we're going to get into spoilers. It's hard not to talk about this movie. Yeah. But I think probably early on, you might start suspecting that the daughter might be Sean Penn's and not Leonardo DiCaprio's. I had a friend say it like at the same time I was thinking it in the theater. I saw two friends and one of them said, the daughter's going to be his, you know, or something like that. And like, that's really what the movie's about, is he's going to join this white supremacy group, this like high level secrecy, you know, whatever group. And he can't have any of this stuff in his past. So he can't have that. He's got a mixed race daughter in his past. So it's all about him trying to track her down just to get rid of her.
Yeah.
So he can pass their like background check. That's really what the movie's about.
That is what the movie's about. And I will say, whether you like the movie or not, kudos to the marketing of the movie. It doesn't tip its hat towards that at all.
No, I mean, like, with the marketing of the movie, it shows you very little Sean Penn, and you would have no idea he's playing this total weirdo that he is in this movie.
No, I just thought his part was like BA military general.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get that first scene with him, and you're like, wait a second, what? Yeah.
Yeah, it takes you like a few scenes before you really kind of catch on to what you're watching.
This guy's a freak show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm trying to remember the exact moment, and now it's kind of all a blur. I'm like, is it the moment where he's going to meet those guys the first time, and he takes out his comb and he like sucks on the comb to like slick his hair back? That might have been the first moment where you're like, oh, this guy's just a total weirdo.
This guy's just a weirdo. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got all that. As I said, Leo, the best part of this movie, but like, so what happens is Lockjaw ends up catching, as you said, the mom character, Perfidia, and he makes her tell where all the other characters of the French 75 are and promise to like put her in witness protection, thinking he's going to stash her away for himself. She gives up her fellow revolutionaries, but then she runs off once she puts them in witness protection. But so he rounds them up, gets a lot of credit for that. But Leo and his daughter go off into hiding. They have to take off into hiding, and so that's where they've been for like, what is it, 15 years they've been in hiding?
I think they say 15, 16 a couple different times.
Yeah, because I think the daughter's supposed to be 16, but she was like a baby, you know, I don't know, close to a 1-year-old, I guess, when they took off. So anyway, so when we catch up to Leo, like he's
just burnt out.
One of the great, like, you know, movie mysteries that often happens is like, how is this guy paying for anything? Because apparently all he does is just sit around and drink and smoke weed, and that's it. In their little hideout. Not that they're living a really like high class life or anything.
Right.
But I mean, my favorite scene of the movie is him talking to his daughter.
Oh my gosh!
At the table, and you see a little bit of it in the preview, where he's talking about going out the night before, and
it's incredible.
She's like, "How did you get home?" He's like, "What do you mean? How did I get home?" She's like, "How'd you get home?" He's like, "I drove home." She's like, "You drove home last night?" And she's like getting on to him. He's like, "Honey, I know how to drink and drive," and that's when he does the great little like from the preview, the little shrug. That's gonna be a meme, you know. That's gonna
100%.
It's like every Leo movie has one great meme, you know.
Oh yeah.
You've got the
you got him dancing in Wolf of Wall Street.
Django Unchained, like, you know, little Raids of a Glass where he turns around. You've got the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Point. You know, there it is. He just always got a great meme, and that's got to be the one. To like, I know how to drink and drive, and then that shrug, like,
it's incredible.
You know, I'm good.
It's incredible. It's unreal how good someone who is so clearly not a loser, like DiCaprio, is at playing a loser. Like, he makes it seem effortless.
He really does. But then the car driving up to pick up his daughter, and he's like freaking out, and he's like, "Your friend he just drives a red car like that."
Yes,
It's so loud, and
he
it's like
plays
just a normal
Paranoia
sounding
so
car.
good. He plays Paranoia
It's so good. I was cackling.
And what does he call him? Does he call him Homie?
Something like
I think
that.
he says homie. Like DiCaprio trying to relate to these teenagers is some of the funniest stuff of the year.
Yeah, but at the same time, trying to do the intimidating dad thing, and
Oh
he
my
pulls
gosh.
the guy
He
in. And he
leans-
says, yeah, he's like, whatever you do to her, I'm going to do to your whole family. And he's like, what are you doing, Dad? He's like, we're talking about freedom, honey.
Oh my gosh, just incredible.
So good.
Incredible. And
So good.
And a great line too that they did give away in the trailer. What does she say? Like, just roll the cards, and he's like, it's dice.
Yeah,
it's dice.
Yeah. Yep. You don't roll cards, honey.
You don't roll
it's
cards, it's
dice.
dice. Like all that stuff is unbelievable. And that's too going back to Chase Infinity, just praising her. Like her main part in this movie is to hold her own against DiCaprio and Sean Penn, which is crazy, and she does it.
Yeah. So you got Leo doing that stuff. The other best parts of the movie, again, it's all the best parts to me for Leo, was him on the phone with the guy trying to get the information for extraction, where they really milk it. And I don't mean milk it to the point where it's bad. I just mean they get a lot of mileage out of them having to remember all these passwords and him being a burnout who can't remember any of the passwords and just yelling at the guy about him being a stickler for the passwords.
It's
so funny.
What is that guy's name? What does he call himself? Something Josh. Like Confidant Josh or something like that. And it's
Comrade Josh.
Comrade
maybe,
Josh.
yeah.
I think it's Comrade Josh. And DiCaprio just despises this guy. And you're right. It's incredible how much. I mean, they skate right toward to the edge of like, all right, guys, we get it. Like, we get the joke. But it's incredible. And I love how DiCaprio's just like, look, man, I've done a lot of drugs. I don't remember this stuff.
Yeah, he does that waffling back and forth between like, I'm going to try to be nice so this guy will work with me, and
then
then I
just
lose my
loses
cool
it.
and yell at him. But, oh man, and then I'm just going to spoil it, because we're in spoilers.
Yeah.
When he finally goes over the guy's head and gets approval, and the whole question that he couldn't get was, what time is it? And he's like, I can't remember what the thing is. And finally, when he gets the approval by going over the guy's head, he goes, just tell, I gotta know, what's the time thing? And the guy goes, time does not exist, yet we're slaves to it anyway. He just loses his mind.
Gets
He's
so
like,
angry.
You gotta be freaking kidding me.
And then there's also
Yeah,
a great gag too, where he's, what time is it? This is my child's life depends on this. And then Benicio del Toro just casually, he's like 8:15. Like he just tells him what the actual time is.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Del Toro, man. We've talked about it before, how good he is.
He is so good.
And again, Leo is doing awesome stuff by doing the most. Leo's like, I'm gonna chew the scenery, I'm gonna be big, I'm gonna make a scene. And Del Toro's like, I'm gonna do so little,
That it's
but it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
funny.
perfect. Especially in contrast to how big Leo's being.
Absolutely.
And because I'm playing the sensei. I'm the Zen guy, I'm just chill, I'm drinking beers. Because he's also kind of ridiculous. Like at first you might think like he's not ridiculous. When he shows up to pick Leo up, I'm trying to remember, like, how do they... Leo gets arrested, and Leo gets out somehow, and he picks him up.
He's got like a group inside the hospital, and they're like, "Oh, he's diabetic." Send him.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let him escape, and as soon as he gets in the car, Del Toro like hands him a 6-pack of beer.
Unbelievable. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And then even when they drive past the cops, and Leo's got the beer up, and he's like, "Whoa, got to put it down, man!" And he puts it down. As soon as they get past the cop, they both go back to chugging.
Yeah, they do.
It's just...
And that's another just incredible scene I was so into, where it's like, okay, lean out the window. You're going to jump out of the car on 4. It's like, come on, Bob, go. But Del Toro never gets frustrated. He's just like, Bob, you need to jump out of the car, and all this, like everything just works.
He says 4 multiple. He's like 4.
Yeah.
Like gotta go. Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good. And then there's just little stuff, like DiCaprio's like, do you have any weapons here? All I can find is nunchucks. And it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Even Del Toro, which it's shown just a glimpse of it in the preview, that when the cops finally catch up to him, and you just get that like 10 seconds of Del Toro, and he's back up to him, but he's like salsa dancing back to him. It's
like PTA's one rule was like, nobody do anything normal in this movie. Like everything you do has to be weird.
Yeah. Can we talk about what I think is the best shot scene in the movie? And that's DiCaprio running across rooftops, trying to keep up with those skater guys who are leading him to the car. And it's almost just silhouettes. And honestly, I was sitting there watching, going, "This has to be Ninja Turtles inspired," because like
Yeah.
there's been so many animated Ninja Turtles of them running and jumping across rooftops and like doing flips and stuff. And these guys aren't quite doing flips, but they're like all young and athletic skateboarders that are like just almost parkouring across these roofs. And poor Leo is just struggling to keep up.
He's like the perfect distance behind them. Like he's kind
Yes.
of keeping up, but not really. And then you get the all-time best, like somebody falls
Yes.
scene in a movie.
Yes, and I would love to see the behind the scenes how they do this, because it seems like a pretty like continuous
Like
tracking
it doesn't
shot.
cut away. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they do a great job of it. Like I said, it's mostly almost